Megan, how you working yours?
Am I working it
Yeah, like how you building it?
in Photoshop?
Yeah, are you doing like a multiply layer or what?
Yeah, it's on multiply.
And then you got a
I'm
color layer underneath it?
yeah,
Okay. You have a lot of brushes?
yeah. I'm using. I think I have a lot of the ones that you gave us
Oh, okay.
at some point. But then also like the ones that are like already loaded on there are pretty good too.
Yeah, you know the weird thing about Photoshop is they keep talking about like now they have Kyle or whatever his name is, but when I go in
Hmm.
there, it's like there's not that many brushes.
Yeah, there's not a lot to start with.
Yeah, and I don't really like a lot. Now that's all personal. Like other people might think they're great. I don't like them, but
Mhm.
or some of them I do, but I don't know. It's weird. How come I can't minimize my thing? I usually have a thing to be able to minimize it.
The zoom window.
Yeah, it usually has a little thing where I can minimize it, and sometimes it doesn't. It's really annoying. And then you can't minimize it from the little. Um, it won't let you minimize it from the regular thing. Anyway,
Hmm.
whatever. All right, let me get a screen grab or a screen capture here. You guys know, obviously, summer's online, right?
Yeah.
I lucked out because I found out doing this, which classes are really good for teaching online, and the one I decided to teach anyway is a good one for being online. So there's another thing too. I just put up a video for my Photoshop 101 class, which is just a painting thing. I did the first half of it, and I'll finish it off. And it'll probably change quite a bit because I'm making it up as I go. But that might be helpful for in here. I'll link that here too. Also, another one that I'm just doing in my Saturday class. It's weird how I never thought of this before. I guess it's because I have a lot of content that I can share, I guess. But another thing I'm doing in my Saturday class, we're into stylizing people, but we started having a conversation around just stylization, period. And so what I did today is did a little quick, just stream of conscious kind of thing about just stylizing things around the house, going out in the driveway and stylizing a car, and just starting to learn how to just use that, flex that muscle all the time. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
So I did a little hour video on it. And again, I always leave them long, but you can scrub through them. But I'll link that too.
Hey, Mike.
Huh?
Are you just teaching Photoshop over summer?
Yeah, Photoshop 101.
Oh, okay.
Which, by the way, is a really cool class. And I'm not pitching it this way, but the reason I am trying to get the word out on it, because it's a new class, Frank wrote it for a really good reason. And as I've been teaching it, I realized more than any other class I think I've ever taught, we have to sort of recruit the right students for that class. Okay, because it's called Photoshop 101, but it's actually called Photoshop for Digital Artists, right?
Hmm.
So it's made to teach people Photoshop, especially people coming into it new, but then going into all this, like I'm showing them digital painting and all kinds of stuff. I'm showing them how to create 3D environments and then digitally paint the environment. But the problem is that I've found with that class is I get a lot of people who are like, they go, oh, it's Photoshop 101. I want to make birthday cards for my granddaughter and stuff. They think it's that. And it's like, it's so not that. And I've had people where they're like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, this is what this class is, man. You know what I mean? It's like, this is actually a class for digital artists. So it's going to get into a lot more high level stuff. And I like teaching that class because I can teach digital painting the way I want to teach it. I can teach creating a 3D environment and then painting. I can teach all these things the way I want to teach it. And if like somebody's already had intro to digital painting, I can kind of go, okay, here's how you actually paint. You know what I mean? And I'm not knocking all that stuff because I think those guys do a good job with that. But then it's sort of like, okay, let's knock off these tricks and all this crap and let's just learn how this works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Hey,
I want
Mike.
to recruit the right people for that class.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm currently taking also a class called Photoshop. Are they the same?
What is it?
I'm also taking a class called Photoshop. Is that the same as your class you're teaching?
Is it Photoshop 101?
No, it's just Photoshop.
No, it's probably not.
Oh.
This one's new. We've only been teaching it for maybe 2 terms. And now that I've taught it like 2 terms in a row, I really like it. But again, it requires, like, almost everybody in that class I have right now isn't even an artist. So it's like really hard to do this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they're not, I mean, one of them's like a psychology major, one of them's a hobbyist, the other one's a hobby. They're a bunch of hobbyists. And it's like, this is probably too much for hobbyists. And I don't really want to dumb it down, and I'm kind of bulldozing through it and just going, you're gonna have to learn this because I'm over it. You know what I mean? Because I don't, for the 1 or 2 people I've got left in that class who are good, I don't want to dumb the class down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Megan.
Mm-hmm.
Questions or anything? I mean, you seem like you're fine, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have any questions so far.
Do you want to play around with texture at all in there?
I might.
Just try it.
Okay. Is that,
I'm
would that
not
be
even saying it needs it, huh?
Would that be something you do like at the end or like as you go? Like if
You know what it is? You get about halfway through something, then all of a sudden you just, you got to get it blocked in, and which is what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say get everything blocked in before you do anything,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
But then, I mean, it can be as simple as, wait, let me share my screen. I just did a screen grab, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did, okay. I'm losing my marbles because I'm getting old, so I can't remember anything. I'm almost to the age where I can act super terribly and get away with it because I'm too old. Okay. Let's see how this one looks.
Hey,
Like,
Mike.
Yeah.
Is your email address on the Canvas or something?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Even this kind of thing, and I'm not saying to do this, but if I wanted to get just a little bit of texture on that wall, I can just get a nice brush and just do a little subtle thing like that, and it'll help. Or not help, but it's a stylistic thing. You can do it or not do it. But there's something really nice about getting a little bit of texture in there, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll try
And basically for me, I don't care if you try it and go, I don't like it. I think that's fine. I just want you to play with it.
Okay.
Like, that's a little, and then I could come in here maybe with my good smudge brush, like maybe, I don't like that one. Maybe, and break up the edges a little bit. And it's so subtle, but it's just a nice little added thing, right? Yeah. It could also be, if you think about, hang on, that goddamn vacuum's in here.
Oh, to live with a robot.
I don't know why she always starts that thing when I'm in here. Okay, let me see. Even on, what's going on with this brush? Oh, that's right. Even on, trying to find a good one. Yeah, even like this kind of texture, right? You can see that,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like on this, if he was wearing like a tweed suit, I might be able to go, I don't know, a little darker, probably a little lighter. It's a little much, but you get the point, right?
Yeah.
That's just too big. But maybe it's just where it hits the light a little bit. I could even do it maybe in the dark instead. And just let the other part be the lighter part. It's too dark or too light. Where's that going? Oh, that's why. So you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And that's too much, but I'm just doing it to make my point. It's another tool in your toolbox, okay?
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yes.
Also, like you might want to just go a layer over this and go pick a gray value, put this on multiply, and you can get your shadow values like that.
Mhm.
And what I like about that is that I can go through here and I don't have to keep finding the color. I can just,
Yeah.
boom, done, right? And then
Yeah.
sometimes I'll adjust the temperatures and things like that. Okay?
Sure.
Okay, so you're fine, right?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Any questions?
Not really.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I've never, when I say you have any questions, I'm not putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I'm not just sitting here and not doing anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So I'm not going, oh, you don't have any questions? Well, I guess you just know everything. I'm not doing that. Because I've had teachers like that.
Yeah.
Some of them were brutal. Daniel, I would do the same thing on this.
What?
For this, because you don't have any shadow values in here yet, I put a layer over it.
Yeah, I try to do the lighting first, but I guess shadow is more important, right?
But if you want to put that in there, oops. Got to put it on multiply. This, like this stuff in here, that's too dark. This stuff in here, you can get it really easily and you can start getting some nice shadow values in there. And start turning it a little bit, okay? Now, the nice thing about this is since it's a brain, you know, you have all these sort of overlap, you know, it's got volume, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
And then we could go, I might even be able to do it with put the brush on color dodge. I'm going to take the same color. Now I'm going to put my brush up here on color dodge. I don't know if it'll work on this. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, it's not going light enough. Yeah, it's going too dark. Or yeah, that's color dodge, right? Is that what I put it on? Yeah. That should go a little lighter, but it didn't. That's okay. So, you know, instead you could just come in here and grab your lighter value because you don't want to go all the way to white all the time. You want to go, why is it doing? Oh, because I'm on, that's why. Hang on. I'm not on the right layer. That's why you're doing
that. Yeah, you know, yeah. You're tired of always, you know, going on the wrong layer. Doesn't it annoy you?
Yeah, you just have to get used to it.
Ah.
There's a whole bunch of stuff about Photoshop that annoys me.
Yeah.
So I just have to.
Yeah, every drawing software does that, you know.
So I'm going to knock down the opacity on this. And see, I can start to build, what it's doing is I pick the color of the brain thing, then I put my brush up here on color dodge, and what that does is just like the dodge tool, it goes lighter, but now I have a color in it, so it'll burn it with a little bit of a color in it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it does.
So what you want to do is you don't want to have your specularity everywhere. You want to do it kind of like that, like build it a little bit like that, right? And then once you build up some of your lighter values, then you can flip, go to a regular brush, get rid of that color dodge, and then you can just do your specularity here and there. Okay? Yeah. So you want to have a highlight and then specularity on something like a brain, because that'd be a wet surface. Okay?
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks, man.
And just use your, you could just put a layer on top of everything put it on multiply, and then just use a gray value and paint in all your shadow values. You don't even have to find them. Okay?
Oh, cool. Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
It
just be
works a
lazy
lot
then.
better.
Yeah,
Josh,
just
is
be
this a
lazy.
different page? This is the other page, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Now, you're still, so where are you landing here now? Because I know you were playing around a little bit with the other one.
Yeah, I'm still just messing around with that one. Especially like the bottom panel.
That one?
Yeah, so I'm not happy with the composition at all.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
That's easy
So
to fix though, right?
yeah, I mean, I
That's
don't
easy
know.
to say, huh?
Yeah. Do you have any like ideas for that bottom one?
No, I'm not giving them to you.
Was that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay
so-
with it.
No,
I just,
what's he doing? He's handing him the guitar. Why?
he just purchased it.
Why does the guy giving it to him look a little pissed off?
It's part of the story. He's just like, I had been warning him about it.
Like not to buy it?
Yeah. But he does it anyways, so more minor annoyance.
Okay, so like on some of them, I think you're hitting your poses really good. And this is normal. And then some you got to work a little harder on the pose.
Yeah.
And that's just, we all struggle with that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So then I just go, is it in a music shop?
Yeah.
So what I try and do when I'm having trouble, usually when I'm having trouble with that kind of thing, I, then I go, well, maybe the guy's like looking down at the kid. That is, maybe his arms are down on the table. And by the way, I'm just riffing here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get it? Riffing? It's a guitar.
Yeah.
You get it?
I get it.
So maybe his hands are on the counter here. And he's sort of looking down at this kid. The guitar's on the table. And then, on the other side of the counter, the kid's sort of looking up at him, listening to him or whatever. Like he's put it on the thing and he's like, look, how many times I got to tell you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you put it down and you go, look, all right, I'm telling you one more time. You going to take this thing or whatever? And you got your hands on the counter and then you're like, all right, here. I don't think you literally have to go, here it is.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
And I think if he kind of has a posture, maybe his head's down a little bit, and the kid's looking up at him. My kid looks like Bobby from King of the Hill. Which I thought that kid was funny, man. Anyway, and then maybe there's like, you just vignette the back where maybe there's another guitar, maybe an electric guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this one you situate it where I can see the price. Is there a price tag involved?
No, but I could.
I don't think you even need to do that because I think if you just put one or two hanging back here, it doesn't have to be guitars. It could be whatever musical instrument. Yeah. It says music store. It says transaction, and plus you got dialogue. That's
right.
So what I try and do is if I'm having trouble with the pose or something, because what I tend to do is I go, "Oh, you suck," because you can't get the pose right. And it's like, it's not that. It's that this isn't the right solution.
Right.
It's like I'm flogging this thing, and it's like, this just isn't the right solution. But I don't do this as much anymore, but I do sometimes. My brain locks into like, oh, you just can't do it. And now you want to change the whole composition because you can't do it. It's like, that's not what it is. It's that there's a better solution. So then what I do is I just go to another solution. Like I just throw that away and I just go to another one. If I'm beating it to death, I'm working on it too hard, I try something else. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely try a few different things.
And you could even be old school. I mean, if you want, I don't think you need to push it that hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you just vignette it like that, where there's a counter thing on the thing, the posture of the guy giving it to him, and then a couple of instruments hanging behind him, they could be a French horn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then I know the scenario. Well, I know the scenario anyway because you're telling me the story. That's the other thing that sometimes I forget about. Sometimes I try and explain everything through the visuals in cases where I don't really need to.
Mm.
Where I go, there is dialogue here. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do it that way. It's just I've done so much stuff. Naomi, I'm going to take that thing away from you. That's your old life. You're not allowed to do that no more. Anyways, that makes sense?
Yeah. Well, that helps a lot.
Well, I love this texture back here. What's that?
Oh, that one, it's actually I got like a floral pack. So it's supposed to be like branches or leaves or something, and it just stacked
like
up.
Way in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Cool. Thank you.
And I like it when people get brushes and they go, oh, if I blow this up, it just gives me a cool texture.
Yeah.
As opposed to going, oh, no, it's flowers. It's like, no, it doesn't have to be. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. They
I
actually
use
don't
those
look very
etchers.
good.
Huh?
Yeah, they actually don't look very good on their own, like as flowers.
Right.
So I was like, I'll figure out a use for these.
Yeah, it's texture, man.
Yeah.
And then you can also, you can do things like, and I do this kind of crap all the time where I go, okay, I've got this. What if I take this same blue and I go put a new layer on here. Well, let's do this. And I'd have to paint out some stuff here, but I'll show you real quick. That vacuum cleaner thing is going to drive me up the wall. And then I just do maybe a gradient. And then I just do maybe whatever overlay. So let's try a couple. And then I'll get like a darker to a lighter.
Yeah,
thing.
that's cool.
Whatever. I just try all kinds of stuff. I mean, I even go like, sometimes I'll just go, digitally, obviously. And the thing with me with digital is like, I can screw around with it so much. I like happy accidents. Like, that's what I like about real painting is there's a lot of happy accidents in it. Where, you make a mark and you go, oh, that's cool. And you didn't even intend it. So I try and do the same thing digitally. So sometimes I'll even, do something like, and for no other reason other than just see what I get. And I might go, and do the same thing. And I'll go like, maybe I'll do something with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I lost my layer. Hang on. But I usually I start off by just rolling through, like even that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I might go, oh, I kind of like that. I'll unify it, but then maybe I'll come on top of that and I'll start to act like there's a little bit of light coming from the right. You know what I mean? Can you see that?
Yeah.
I'm warming it up. And then I go, okay, well, if I got that, then maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll start, let me see. I'm going to try it really screaming and see what happens. I'll start to get a cool light on the other side, just to play the warm, cool thing.
Yeah.
And I start screwing around with it. What it does is it just sends me down another rabbit hole. And if it doesn't work, then I move on. And 90% of the time, huh?
That looks cool though. I like that.
Okay. Questions?
No.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, so you know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Told you, there used to be a guy at Art Center. You guys know who Bern Hogarth is?
Mhm.
Bern Hogarth wrote all his dynamic anatomy books. He's like a legend. And I was going to have him the next term. He died that term. So I missed him by one term. Man, he was brutal.
Ugh.
You could hear that guy all the way down the hall yelling at people.
Yep.
You know?
Thanks.
Huh?
Mhm.
And he had pieces in the Louvre, I think. So he'd scream at people and go, I got stuff in the Louvre. What have you ever done? And you're like, I can't.
Well, that's a little intense.
Huh?
I said, well, that's a little intense.
I know, but what I liked about it is like, you can't counter that argument. It's like, okay, you got stuff in the Louvre. Like, I still can't counter that argument. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. I still can't counter that argument. He could still shit all over me with that argument. Okay. Naomi,
Yes.
you good?
Yeah.
Yeah? I mean, your stuff looks good. You're another one I might play around a little bit with some texture just to see. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like maybe down here. And by the way, that I'm just suggesting things. Because it's all really flat, right? Which, you know, can be a look, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you can also come in here, you know, and just put a little bit of texture down at the bottom of the wall or like on the floor, just real subtly. Right?
Yeah.
Just play, you know, play it and try it. And if you don't like it, don't do it.
Yeah, I was trying to do like using a chalk kind of brush and just like going over the highlights with it.
Yeah. I mean, play around with it. Put it on another layer and just try all kinds of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, it's like when I do this kind of stuff, and I know you want to do a black and white thing, that's totally cool. There's another thing where I go, you know, what happens if I go, I'm going to do it screaming blue because I'm going to change it. Like, you know, where it tints it, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. But then I'd have to go, okay, that's too much. So maybe I desaturate it, lighten it up. And then I just get a little bit of a sepia tone to it. You know what I mean?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the other thing you can do is you could just literally go, if you ever do want to do a sepia tone, you should be able to go, let's just pick like a brown. God, I hate the way they broke up this palette. So let's just start here. Huh?
Nothing. Commenting about the sun in my face right now.
Yeah. So see how we have sort of a brownish tone right here on my foreground color?
Mm-hmm.
So if I go up to image, adjustments, hue saturation, this little button right here, colorize, will take this color and apply it to the whole thing. See it?
Oh. Okay.
So look I can go through the color spectrum right here. See this hue?
Mm-hmm.
That I can just roll through it.
I see.
It just gives you different options, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I just love to play. And it's one thing I do love about digital is you can just play endlessly, you know? Where's Eli? Is Eli here? Am I missing Eli? I haven't seen what she's working on.
What?
Eli, you here? I don't think she is. Ryan, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
So this one, You're jumping to light values too fast.
Okay.
And you're also sort of treating it like canson paper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, and I see how you're getting like, I notice a lot of people do this, how this, all your lighting is sort of right on the edge of the character,
Mm-hmm.
like right there.
Yeah.
You got to get a broader, light is always about, you build it up, right?
Yeah.
And then, and by the way, you can get like a hard light on that if you want to and say it's coming from the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can do that, but it's you know, because you're heightening it, and that's fine. We're not making a documentary.
Yeah.
But I also kind of go, I mean, I think it kind of works with that light behind it like that.
Yeah.
You know, but like this is an object made out of metal or whatever. It's going to have
Yeah.
more specularity on it, right?
Yeah.
And also, you might be able to block these things in. Are you going to do it all with a blue cast?
Yeah, I when you showed us that the other day, I looked at it and I thought it looked really cool, but I'm kind of new to, well, not super familiar with Photoshop, so I'm kind of running into some problems. Um, but what I'm thinking of doing is like just doing it like mostly on a like blue value scale or whatever,
You can do
and
that.
then doing like some warmer colors for like the lights of the bus and stuff.
Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I just put on my brush right here. Okay, so you have your overlays. You understand that in Photoshop, right? On your layers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
you also have that up here with your brush right here. Okay,
Okay.
see that? So
Yeah.
what that does is it just applies that idea to my brush, not to the whole layer.
Okay.
Okay, so what
Oh,
I just
okay.
did is I put it on color. And if you,
Uh-huh.
as you can see, I can start to kind of glaze color over this without it being too crazy, right?
Yeah.
So you might want to go in and just start it over the blue on color and just sort of glaze color over it and then keep it limited. You don't have to do a whole lot of color. All this stuff
Okay.
back here.
And then I also have a question about the panel on the bottom of the first page. I kind of want to make just that panel lighter. Would you just do that with like a brush and just paint in like a lighter color, or
You want to make the whole panel lighter?
yeah, like because I can go below like the line layer or whatever, but I don't know.
Then you could just put it, select it, and then just go to your levels, which is under image adjustment levels. And then you can lighten up this panel alone if you want.
Okay, cool.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like inside the bus, so it has like lighting. It's not like outdoors because it's supposed to be at night.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oops. Oops. Shoot. Yeah. Yeah, what you could do here, if you want to do something like that, you could even do it where you lighten it up. I don't know if this would work. Yeah, you can lighten it up. And then you could probably go grab some of this and go lighter. And put some lights up here. You know what I mean?
yeah, okay,
The bus itself has some light sources. And then just go a little lighter. You know, just kind of light it up a little bit. Does that make sense?
yeah. And then also for that frame, do you think that it works like the drawing part of it, or should I still change it up more?
Just make sure everything's reading and separating.
Okay. Is there
Everything has to
anything that
separate.
Is there anything that's not separating right now?
I think as soon as you get this monkey worked out, like from a lighting perspective, so he jumps forward, it'll probably help it a
Okay.
lot. Okay.
Okay.
And then here, this wolf or whatever,
Yeah.
I'd make a I'd make a bigger statement with him, or maybe he's bigger against that moon.
Okay.
Maybe even all the way up here. You know, got to get a
Okay.
bigger. See what I mean?
Does the branch work in that?
I don't think you
Because I
need it.
want it. Huh?
I don't think you need it.
Okay. If I make the
Just
wolf.
that round and that wolf.
Okay. And then for, I
Go
don't
ahead.
know if you, what's up?
Go ahead.
I don't know if you remember or not, but the panel, the second to last panel, um, you asked me to change it a lot before, and I don't know. Do you think it works or?
Oh, the one where he's hanging up his thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Just give me one more thing that tells me he's like at his pad.
So like maybe like a bed or something, or
Or it could
something.
be, you know, I don't know why this pops into my mind. Probably because it's so mundane. Like maybe one of those. You know, hang on. That's weird. You know, like one of those old school TVs or something like that, you know, with the old rabbit ears or something. Just something real mundane,
Okay.
you know.
All right.
And the only reason I'm saying an old TV is because, like, because I do a lot of stuff where I think about forest animals and all that kind of stuff, and I always think they'd have like old stuff that they found and stuff like that because they don't go to Best Buy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they'd go find an old TV, or they'd find, or like whenever I draw bears and stuff, they always have like their suits don't fit them right, they're too tight and stuff, you
Yeah.
know, because they just find them, you know,
Yeah.
or they
Okay.
ate somebody who was wearing a suit or something, you know.
Okay. I'll figure it out.
But I like that better.
Okay.
Sabrina, you here?
Yes, I am.
I'd get the drawings more refined before I went to color.
What?
I'd get the drawing more refined. Like this right here, where you're just making random marks in here.
I just wanted to scratchy.
Right there.
I don't know. I wanted to like have that little like unfinished, but like, you know, not really finished kind of like style.
Yeah, you can do that. But when it starts getting into like this kind of thing. Why is my
Oh wait. I was supposed to make it like mad, but I think put it way too high.
If you're gonna make a random mark, it still has to be designed, right?
Yeah.
You know, so you can't just kind of go like that. You gotta, like, I do this thing all the time when I'm drawing with a pencil, right in the shading. Why is my
What's hot?
hang on?
Because you're on color mode.
Oh, I am on color mode. Right on.
Yeah.
That's weird. I always tell my class that whenever your brush isn't working, go check that, and I just didn't do it. But anyway, when I'm doing it, a lot of times, you know, I'll shade something like that, and then I'll kind of fade it off, you know, in a way like that with my pencil. But I think about it, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
all your mark making's got to be super deliberate and designed. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And like something like that, you know, you could just go, you could make your shape. Hang on. You know, you could make your shape. You know, if you want that scratchy thing, then maybe I could come in here. And get me a you know, a big scratchy brush. and just contain it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even like that, you know, and just deselect it and you'll have that scratchy thing, right?
Yeah. Oh God.
Is it hot down there, you guys?
Yeah.
What?
Is it hot down there?
Been
It's
very
really
hot.
hot.
It's cooking.
It's
It
gonna
is
be
an
like
oven.
90. No AC in my house. It's gonna melt in here in hell.
It's perfect up here.
I was like, I can't complain.
Okay, thanks.
Nice and cool.
You really make me happy right now.
All right, Taylor,
Yeah.
can you tear yourself away from your iPad?
Yes.
All right, what do you think?
I think it's
Oh, yeah.
really good. The only thing that I kind of like futzed around with today, because I started putting the text in, was the size of the new scene. Because I just felt like it was too echoey of the previous cupcake on the
Which
other
one?
page.
Which one are you talking about?
So the new scene on the bottom right.
Where he dies?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I felt when I was like putting it into like do text today, I
Yeah.
felt like it was too
Close to this one?
big. Yeah, the one on the right.
But
or
too
when
close
he
to the one
died.
on the left, right?
Yeah, like I felt like they were too heavy, so I went in like and made that scene smaller today.
I get what you're saying. Like these two right here
Yeah,
are similar.
yeah.
Is there going to be text in this little area?
Yeah, and then I kind of like, I guess I took that out today, but I haven't decided if I'm finalized with that idea or not.
What if you take out that blob right there?
Yeah.
And then this.
Yeah.
Just became text, just that's it, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of like what I was thinking today, was that I would just take that out and just put the text there.
Because I think it helps. I don't know why taking out that other shape, I think it kind of helps.
Yeah. I think because it's just like, because the space on the top left with the cupcake, like where I am being presented it, is so open, and then the rest of the comic is so like dense that taking it out of that today was kind of like, I think helped balance it.
Yeah,
So.
it gives you an open area.
Yeah.
And what's it going to say right there?
It's gonna say, let me reference my iPad since I don't remember. I mean, I've been like changing the text around for how it'll fit in the spaces today anyway, but it says, unfortunately, the cupcakes plan, while successful in not getting eaten, was not successful in escaping a gruesome fate.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, I think just opening it up helps.
Yeah. Finn.
Okay.
I mean, Finn works too.
So you don't have any questions, right? You good?
I do not have any questions now.
I gave you guys that video on making those stamp brushes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. The reason I do that is because everybody does that, and there's a place for that. You know, if you whatever. But if I come in here and make a stamp brush. I'm just going to make a one hair brush, right? Because I think this is important. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to Edit, Define Brush Preset. I'm going to call it Fur for now. And then I've got my stamp brush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which does that. But the value of this, and I'm gonna link a video that a guy goes deeper in, not really any deeper into it, but just it gives you a good example of what you can do with it. But if I go over here to my brush settings, and okay, so here's my brush. Can you guys see that down there in the window?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I go to up here, that's my brush tip shape. So right there, right? I don't want to change that yet. But shape dynamics, now I can come in here, I can pull it in, right? But the main thing I want you to remember is right in shape dynamics, right here in the middle where it says control, everybody can see that?
Mm-hmm.
I can drop this and I go direction, okay? Also, I'm gonna go to scattering and I'm gonna scatter it out a little bit, see that?
Mm-hmm.
And I like transfer. See how it faded off the ends? The thing here is now when I do that, see how it follows my hand?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing a creature, if I'm doing, in the video I'm going to give you,
That makes
I'll link
everything
to.
easier now.
So you can see how I could create like a furry animal with very little work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, and then I can keep going in here. I can start to shade it, and it's all following my hand, okay? The other thing I could do here, and there's a couple things. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go back to my regular brush. And if I'm just going to do this real half-ass. If I made a leaf shape. So if you were doing a graphic novel and you had a specific look, you'd make your own brushes, okay? If you want to do this. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select it, edit, define brush preset, and we'll say leaf. Okay, now we have our stamp brush, right? But I can do the same thing. I can go back to my brush settings. I'm going to go to shape dynamics, direction, size, and it pulls it in. Right now it's probably, see, that's already an interesting brush, okay? You know, and it's following my hand, see?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to take it and go to my scattering. I'm going to pull that scatter out.
Wow.
And what I can do, I can start to dial this in. And I can scatter it out a lot more. And I can pull it out actually, and I can jitter up the angle right here. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things I can do in here, okay? One of the things, I can push these out where they're much further apart, and then I can kind of paint in my leaves and stuff like that over my big mass, and I'm done with the tree. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And then if you just get clever with it, you can do things like, hang on. I can do things like, you can kind of play with it. I'm going to space it out pretty good. I'm going to go to scattering or shape dynamics, turn on direction, go back to scattering, scatter it out a little more. I actually want more like that. Let's do it like that. I'm going to turn on transfer. And let's do this one more time. angle it out a little bit. Can you see that? Yes?
Yeah.
So this could go on the side of a dragon. If I dialed it in right, it could be scales. It could be a rock formation. It could be a whole bunch of organic things. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good trick. And by the way, this is what you're paying for half the time when you buy brushes. They're not that hard to make, okay? I just saw some, Aaron Blaze, the animator, he's going, hey, here's my texture. And they're not bad brush. I'm not saying they're bad. And they are really reasonable. But it's like, dude, I can make that brush in like 2 minutes.
Mhm.
Why do I need to buy it? Now, the value of that is they're probably $5 or $10, and he's already made 50 of them. But I also don't want all my stuff looking like Aaron Blaze's stuff either. You know what I mean? Also, when you guys have brushes in Photoshop, you can go in there and dial them in. Okay, so you can go in there and tweak them, a lot of them. Okay, I was just doing it the other night, doing that. I think I was doing a demo or something. And there was a brush, I kind of liked it, but I wanted to do this, that, and the other. I just went into the brush settings and I tweaked the settings. And it was a way, you know, it was better for what I needed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And also, you got to be careful if you're, like, Photoshop has a lot of good brushes, like leaf brush, all that stuff. But then, like, and it's weird because I think I was at, it was a Disney piece, a concept piece. And I don't blame somebody for doing this. I'd do the same thing. But there was all these, like, it was like a really cool, like, fall scene or something like that. Then there was these, like, maple leaves kind of trailing into it. It was a stock Photoshop brush. You know what I mean? I mean, it looked great. I mean, why reinvent the wheel? They're maple leaves. What the hell? You know what I mean? And he tweaked them a little bit and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't like it if people look at my stuff and go, oh, there's the leaf brush. I just don't like that. Okay? It's just like when people used to use the stock thin, thick brush in Illustrator. Every time I'd see that, I'd go, that just looks amateur time to me. You know what I mean? Learn how to do this. It's important. Okay? And then next week, I want to go over another thing that's sort of in this vein with the brush stuff. Okay? Because this stuff, man, I mean, half the stuff you guys are seeing that's all mind-blowing and it's digital painting, half of it's this stuff. You know what I mean? It's just trick brushes and all this kind of stuff. The tutorial I'll put up for you guys, the painting one, which is just a basic build painting, the first part of it. The reason I'm doing it, I do some stamp brush stuff in there and stuff like that. But it's mostly just building it up through color because I think you should learn that, then dance over it with this stuff. Does that make sense? You don't want to be these people that are just totally dependent on like photo bashing and all that kind of crap. That's not your friend. Does that make sense? Yeah? Megan?
Yeah.
What?
I just showed your stuff, Megan, in my vector class today.
Oh, really? Which
Yeah.
one?
It was like I think it was a self-portrait.
Oh, okay.
Because
Oh,
we were talking about style, and I have a girl in that class named Sarah Park. Do you know her?
I don't think so.
She's pretty new. She's really nice. She's pretty new, and she's a really good student. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she like really listens, and like she's really getting good. She's going to be super good. But we were talking because she's just learning. She's a graphic design major, and she's like, you think this figure looks like stupid? And I go, no, it's starting to have a style. Because what these kids get in their head is they go, oh, it doesn't look like some master draftsman life drawing guy did it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I bought a Harry Carmine. And you know who Harry Carmine is? He's a legend. Harry Carmine's a legend. Figure guy, right? I bought a big original Harry Carmine bitchin' life drawing for like $30.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you know why? Because nobody gives a crap. Which I think kind of sucks, actually. They care about style. They care about blah, 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 all that stuff. But anyway, her stuff was starting to have like a cool style. And I go, you got to understand what that is. You know what I mean? Like, it's not always about this half down a bunch of draftsmanship. Sometimes, I mean, there's so much of this overlap now. You know what I mean? I really feel like some of the illustrators that I'm really into probably started as graphic designers. Pablo Lovato, we talked about him, right? The guy does a really geometric portraits. Yeah. You know, all those guys, I look at that and I go, he probably started as a graphic designer, you know?
Yeah.
And the guy's like a genius with that stuff. Anyway, so I was pulling that up and going, style. This is style.
Mhm.
Like I was telling her, I go, you don't want to be in the middle. So I was pulling your stuff up and going, I know this is style. This is a cool drawing. I'm not looking, and I see a lot of people and they do bad drawing. They go, that's my style. And it's like, you can't draw, dude. That's not a style. That's a whole different thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I see that a lot, by the way. Okay. You
Cool.
guys are doing good. All right.
I have a question, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, did you put yours in there?
No, because I didn't see any folder, and I sent you by email to you.
The folder is under announcements, like it always is.
Okay, I didn't put anything because I sent it for you to you by email.
I know. I just got swamped this week.
So,
Get it in the folder, and I'll go over it. Put it in the folder. That folder I have under announcements, and I will go over it.
okay.
Because I just went over. I had to catch up today, and I just went over somebody else's. I sent them like a 10-minute video, and I'll do the same thing with yours.
Okay, so I just put it and you check it up after class.
Mhm.
Or do you want me to put
I'll
it
do
right
I'll do a little video. I'll probably do an overlay over it, and I'll just send it to you. That's what I do. I just send you a link, and you can go see it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. By the way, I know that you're recording. Are you gonna put this video somewhere or?
I put all of them up.
Oh.
All of our videos, everything I do is under announcements.
Announcement. Got it.
On Canvas. So every time we have this meeting, what happens is this Zoom renders it. I take it into Premiere, I edit it, I throw the logos on it, and then I throw it on YouTube, and then I put it under announcements.
Okay, that's cool. Cool.
Now, there's only been maybe once or twice I haven't because I didn't think there was anything said in it. But like tonight, I just went over brushes, and I want you to have that information. Plus, I'm going to put a link on there, and I want you to understand what this link is. The link is, as Paul is saying, and I like to show you this little technique because it's pretty simple. But then I want you to see, and I stumbled on this video and I go, oh, cool, I don't have to do a video on it. He was working on Puss in Boots, if you guys know that movie with DreamWorks. And the concept art for that cat looks super rendered out, like crazy rendered out, right? Yeah. All this fur and everything. He's just doing what I just showed you. That's all he's doing. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I want you to see like somebody who took it, because it's not hard to do, like who took it to that level. It's actually pretty easy to do. Okay. Mm-hmm. And what I noticed in our school for some reason is everybody makes stamp brushes. And I go, okay, those are okay for some stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like, what are you going to do? Keep stamping? It's almost like scrapbooking or something to me. It's like, you know, now stamping can be really good. The video I'm doing, I'll give you, I'll post that too, of that one. Like in the foreground stuff, I just use, because it's a fairly naturalistic painting for the most part. Mm-hmm. I just stamped in some real foliage in the front. I mostly just did that to show like how you can use that. Does that make sense? But if you were doing your own illustration, then you'd want to create your own leaf shapes. You'd want to create your own, and then that stamp stuff can work for you great. So you can go, oh, I got 3 tree shapes. I can pop them over here, make one taller, make one fatter, squash one, flip one, and it all will start to look different, you know? Mm-hmm. But it's got to fit your stylistic look of your illustration, okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Wednesday, I'm going to try and go over another brush thing again. And I just want to see what you guys are doing, just keep pushing it forward, okay?
Okay.
Yeah? I mean, at this point, we're working, okay? Mm-hmm. And then I'll link all that stuff and this class video up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, you guys. Well, go ahead.
Mike, can I ask you a question? You want me to add some speech bubbles to my comic by
yes, by
Wednesday?
By Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, you guys. If you have any questions, hit me. I'm loosening up a little bit. I was super backed up, but I'm starting to loosen up a little bit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
I'll see you later. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace out.
Bye.